Heyo.
How is everybody doing tonight? I'm coming to you
Doing
guys
well.
live with Hannah Banana, Moderate Extreme, and w.a.r. And the four of us were ex-Unirock mods, and we're here to tell our side of the story. Who wants to start?
I don't care. Y'all go first.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask me, Princess?
Well,
What do you want to
basically,
know?
we left the Discord server in the community, and we all had our own reasons, and
Sure.
I feel like we've been made to look a certain way, and so I think it's important for all of us to get our side of the story out,
Sure.
and so that we can get it over and done with, and it's over. And none of this is going to be hating anybody or being ugly towards anybody. I just want to throw that out in the very beginning.
Okay.
It's just simply so that we can speak our side of the story and what happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, whose
Yep.
side do you want first, lady?
Well, Hannah, I think Hannah might have. Who was there before? It was you or Hannah. Which one got there first? Because that's who should go first tonight.
I think w.a.r. was there
ahead.
before me.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Oh, well, okay. I'm just here because, well, since February, Uni's been lying about me on multiple streams and Twitter and all kind of places, and he has fantasies about what happened and why we all left, and so I just wanted to clear that up. So in February of this year, Katie screenshotted the Discord, his general room in Discord, of a mod comment that made her mad, and she dropped that in his YouTube live stream, a link to those screenshots, which you're never supposed to share Discord
That's
screenshots or screenshots from Discord. And in that stream, she ended up blocking a bunch of people and doing all this. Well, we all had like a talk about it because everybody's like, I mean, what do? We can't moderate Katie. She's got a wrench. And he says, well, just wait. Just wait until the Truth of Non-Sec video comes out, and I'm going to kick her from my Discord. And I have proof of all this, by the way. So then in the middle of March is when she asked for Bite Me Now's name. And y'all know more about how that happened. I wasn't like there when it happened, but what made me mad was that the next morning, Maud asked, he said, we're not supposed to ask for personal information. And Rachel said in the general room that, no, we're not. That's never allowed. If this ever happens, come to me. We're not allowed to talk about personal information. I mean, at this point in time, there was somebody leaking from his Discord, and it was like really locked down at that time. Like nobody could get in there. And it was like a big thing to ask for personal information. Well, in the mod room, 10 minutes later, literally 10 minutes later, Uni tagged her and said that he was glad that she had done that Bite Me Now was a demi spy and all this kind of stuff. And that led to a meeting that we had. And Uni says that we all sang Kumbaya and everybody agreed in this meeting, but that's not what happened at all. He got mad and stormed out of the meeting. There was many meetings during all this. And
dear God, there was many meetings.
Yeah. Well, that night there was a meeting with 4 admins, and he told us, I'm not going to name them right now, but I have, anyway, he told us that Katie was going to have 1 million subs in a year, and that it was bad for his business, that the first time she mentioned his name, he got 2,000 subs. And every time after that, it was like 100 to 500 subs that he got. And then the next day after that meeting, after he had just told us 4 admins that, now I was an admin, which he later said I hadn't been in his Discord for a year, but he told us that on a voice chat that night. And the next day we had another meeting where he shamed all of us, that 14 of us had brought this to his attention because we were sick of it. I mean, you said you were going to kick her, you were doing all this, and now you're just making excuses saying she didn't ask for her name, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And so then the next day, he tried to guilt everyone, saying that he could not believe that we gave we lost confidence in him. That what he was doing this whole time was building a file to expose Katie. And he literally paused and dragged it, acted like he was dragging a file to his recycle bin to throw it away because we had messed up the whole story. We had messed it all up because Kyle Curtis was in the Discord chat that day and jumped into the voice room and heard it. And so he was pissed off. So he pretended like he was dragging it to his recycle bin. Not only did he do that, he deleted it from the recycle bin. And the drama, like he could have got an Oscar or something for doing this. I mean, it was crazy. And so
It was funny.
It was because he
I mean-
dramatically paused and then he's like, all right, guys, I'm going to take this out of the recycling bin and I'm going to throw it in the trash, you know?
yeah,
Like the
that's what he
name.
did. And he literally sat there and said, I cannot believe after all the time we've spent together, y'all have lost confidence in me. Now, mind you, 24 hours, but not even 24 hours, he literally told me that because that she was going to have 1 million subs and that this was good for his business and that's what he was doing. I mean,
How
and
is he
then
so
for him,
certain of that?
I don't know. That's what I'm confused about. And there's been some comments recently since her lawsuit that people have said she's going to have 1 million subs before the end of this year. Da, da, da. And it's
Wow.
like, wow.
I highly doubt that.
Oh, no.
I don't see it happening. There's no way.
I feel like he had to have had some type of evidence to be willing to lose 10 of his mods and stick up for her. It just seems just so.
No,
He was so
honestly,
adamant about saying that she would get to 1 million subs that he was willing to lose.
It's because
Well,
he's 10 steps ahead, remember?
Yeah.
He's been right about
Yeah, right. But I have a message actually that I wrote on March 27th. This was a day or two after that. It's to another admin. And hang on, I want to read it really quick. I've got a screenshot right here. I'm not trying to name any names. These people have all. My dad died literally 2 days after this in a fire, like literally. And they none of them messaged me again afterwards after I left the server. It was just too much for me to handle. And I was, after 2.5 years of being friends with these people and spending time with these people, what I thought were like almost family to me, my friends, that they weren't. Okay, so I was explaining the problem that happened to an admin that wasn't there when it happened. And I said, and FYI, the problem yesterday, this was written on March 27th. And I said, Uni spent an hour telling me and 3 others in the admin room that 2 days ago that he was not kicking KJ, that it was bad for his business, which I totally get, but all he had to do was say that. If you remember correctly, the last time this happened a few weeks ago, he told everyone just to play nice and ignore her until the Truth of Non-Sec vid came out. This came out last week. He told us every time that she mentioned his name, it was going to erase the damage Steve did to his channel. He gets 100 to 200 subs, and every time she shouts him out, he gets 100 to 200 subs, and the first time she shouted him out, he gained 2,000. This was just a few of us when he said that, and of course I wouldn't say this to anyone else that wasn't there or an admin. People did lose their temper, but I believe if you were there, you wouldn't have been happy either. He told us it wasn't Katie, that it was the mods. It was literally like a slap in the face because she asked the girl's name in general. It was intimidating, and she is a bully. Uni tried to explain what the meaning of name was. He just kept saying that we were all crazy and wrong, and it's his channel. I get it. It's his business, and he doesn't have any. Well, that was into other stuff, but that's about the beginning of. I mean, that's about tells it all. I mean,
it is his channel, but we all used to come together and work together. There was no big I's and little U's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of our knowledge and all of our information was deemed, good work, and we all worked together with him to help give him credibility. And that's why I stuck around,
He just completely forgot that somehow, that the majority of his videos that had real evidence and real content to them came from the help of you guys more than me. But
and I'll go next. I'll tell why I left. If you're done, Hannah. Are you done, honey?
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. No, the reason why I left is because I got tired of being lied to. There would be instances where situations needed to be taken care of, and I would try to get a hold of him, and he just wouldn't answer. Just you're just ignored. And then he'd be like, well, where did this come from all of a sudden? Well, dude, I tried telling you 2 days ago. That's one. Two, nobody would moderate Katie in Discord. Nobody.
Nope.
I was the only. Well, I won't say I was the only one. There, there might have been a couple others that stepped up, but then she'd run back to Uni and say, "Oh, War's being mean to me. War's being mean." That's what put the target on my back, and I got tired. I saw the direction he was going, and it wasn't toward truth. It wasn't toward honesty. And he said I was over moderating. That's a lie. If I'm such a bad mod, how come I'm still a moderator on channels that are 3 times bigger than his? Okay, I'm not a bad mod. Anyway, he said I was over moderating and that he was just going to take my wrench for a day. Well, dude, I was with you for 4 years, and we never had a problem before until Katie showed up. And until I started trying to work with her on his behalf. And then he started lying on me, saying I was posting things in Discord general chat that should be in the mod room. Well, gee, I got kicked out of the mod room there, Unirock, because you locked me out. And so the only way I could leave you a comment was in the general comments of the room. Anyhow.
He treated you like shit. It was bad.
He did.
Yeah, he did. And I said, I'm out. I'm not a liar. That's one thing I'm not. I might be a lot of things, but I can't abide a liar. And those are just some of the reasons why I said, okay, boss, you have fun. I told him, I said, you keep my name out of your damn mouth, and I won't say nothing about you. But what has he done for all these months? Talked smack about all of us, ran us all through the mud.
Yep.
And that's garbage. And it just, his true colors have been revealed, So,
Well,
anyhow,
to your
go
point,
ahead.
To your point, one of the things you did one night is another moderator was attacked by a creator that he desperately wanted to work with because that person had a problem with Steve. So it was another situation where he was ignoring that person's behavior. That person's no longer they're on YouTube now, but with a different name, doing a different thing. But it's not too hard to figure out who this person is. They attacked another moderator and were posting things in all kinds of other Discord servers about that moderator, came into Unirock's Discord server and attacked her out of nowhere. I couldn't find an admin. I couldn't find anybody. I found you, and you put an end to it. The thanks you got for that is that, well, if there wouldn't have been a failure in moderation in the first place,
Yeah, I got a kick in the ass.
yeah,
Literally told us that Katie wasn't the problem, that it was the failure of moderation. It was a slap in the face to hear that. I mean,
yeah,
it was.
he told me that. Yeah, I was just a bad moderator, and so yeah, I remember that. Go ahead,
and that
Mod.
and that wasn't Katie. That was just another example of every time you tried to do the right thing and work above your pay grade. You weren't even an admin. Technically, you could have said, sorry about her luck. It's, that's what's going to happen when Uni lets people like that in and washed your hands of it. But no, it was the middle of the night. You went into voice. You straightened it out. You stopped it. Finally, an admin did show up, and then that person just left. But you got zero recognition for the things that you did, and you were always around, and you were always doing stuff that technically you didn't even have to do.
I know.
You were totally unappreciated, in my opinion.
Well,
I think that we all were. That's another thing. He said, I'm sure we'll get to it, but it really just bugs me after in July when he named me in his Periscope and asked me all these questions that he said that I would ignore. the Periscope, he muted me in and then later blocked me, but then said he didn't block me because he's playing semantics. He asked me all these questions about that wouldn't matter the answer, but when I went to his YouTube stream 30 minutes later to show up, somebody that was actually Katie's, I was getting nailed in there by everybody, because that's the thing. When he decides that he doesn't like somebody, his whole audience turns on you, which is just so wrong, because I don't have a problem with any of them. But either way, I was there because he had just asked me all these questions 30 minutes prior on Twitter and on Periscope, and he wouldn't answer me. Well, because I was like, hey, I'm here to answer all your questions that you say I'll ignore. Well, this person tagged him and tagged me and said, Hannah's here. I think she deserves, since you just got done saying that, I think here she is, you just got done saying this stuff about her. I think she deserves for you to read her comment. And he said that didn't happen, that he didn't just do all that. And in that stream, he said that I hadn't been in his Discord for a year, that I was a crazy conspiracy theorist, and he couldn't believe he ever worked with anybody like me. I'm where he got most of his information. You were there, Ward, with the Q thing, with all that. I mean, I dug and would take it to him like on a silver platter. And for him to sit there and say he couldn't believe you ever worked with him. I mean, I'm not saying that he didn't work. He didn't do it. He actually had good information them halfway. But I mean, I literally helped him, and he just turned around and acts like it's nothing. I mean, whenever you're not good for him anymore or not helping him anymore, he just washes his hands of you, which is why there's 150 people here. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're disposable to him. Everybody is. Exactly. I mean, he thinks that this is like a hate thing. He literally called me a Steve troll in that Periscope. I have never talked to Steve ever in my life. I've never conversed with any of those people. And he called me a Steve troll and said, I mean, it cracks me up. He said
that about me too. I think that's his go-to. And I mean, I have nothing against Steve, but I just haven't. And so that's his.
I mean, but I wasn't even around when he was covering Steve. Like I said, I had been in his Discord, and I don't know. It was just crazy to me. And he also said that I hadn't been in there in a year, but he made me an admin on March 17th of his Discord. And that's what he's so mad about, I believe, is because he didn't see that I wasn't going to stick with his channel over anything. I'm not there for that. I have morals, and I stand up for the truth and what I see is right. And that's not right. You're not going to sit here. And he literally caused a fight with every other creator he ever worked with. Before these people, back with the Q thing, I mean, everybody, that's what he would do. He would work with somebody, cause a fight with them, work with someone. And so I gained friends. I made friends with these people that he was working with that sometime, and then he would turn around and do something stupid. And here I would sit there and take up for him until I was blue in the face, which is why I know how the people that are defending him now, I don't take any offense to it. I don't do anything. I know how they work because I was that same way. But
oh yeah, I fought with people for him that later on, once I got away from uni, I found out, why did I do that? These people are all right. It was just, you fall into it.
Yes. Well, see, that's the thing. It's his toy, and he picks it up when he wants, and you have to be ready at a moment's notice, okay, to join in and participate. All right. And if you don't do it the way he likes, or if you have a different idea or a question or what, it just isn't addressed or accepted. And anyhow.
Well, I'll tell a little bit about my story. I found him through the debunking he was doing on DNAJ Line 7, Timothy Holmesett, those guys, because that was the content I was interested in, that red pill to pay the bill stuff. And as soon as I joined was right about the time he was rebranding from that and going into Flat Earth. So I didn't get to see much of that. And that was really why I was there. But I figured, hey, if the guy was good on this other stuff, he's going to be good going into this new material. I'll stick around. So I did. And it wasn't. It was like, okay, this isn't my thing, but I'll wait for the next thing, and I'll wait for the next thing. Well, the next thing that came up was his big blowout with everybody that was debunking Flat Earth, and his, switching sides and teaming up with Katie. It was like, all right, now we're into makeup. I went from debunking the creepiest people on YouTube to flat Earth to the makeup crowd. But okay, you know what? I'll just wait a little bit longer because this has got to get better. This is okay.
He just kept telling us that it was going to be over soon.
Yeah.
Right. And I've got
He's
nothing
still
against.
saying that. He's still telling them all that he's going to be over the Steve Katie stuff soon, and they're still talking about it.
And I've got nothing
After a
against
year and a
anybody.
half.
I've got nothing against the makeup crowd. That's cool. It wasn't my bag. But okay, I'm gonna live with it. And then it turns into this big targeted harassment campaign, his favorite phrase against Steve. And it's like he's gonna tolerate all this bull crap from Katie. Katie would come into that server having a Karen attack with I think I know who someone is and just drop a phone number. Just drop somebody's cell phone number and it would have to get screenshotted and deleted. And we kept going through this and bringing him this information
Yep.
day
Yeah.
after day. It's like, hey man, she did this. And either he wouldn't deal with it, he'd send another admin to just tell us, listen, just block her. Don't worry about her. When he's done with the story, we won't have to ever see her again. And it's like months go by and months go by and she's just getting worse and she's getting worse. The
She can't
culminating,
be moderated.
she can't be moderated, she can't be spoke to.
She has a mod role. And then he's
Right.
arguing with everybody that she doesn't have mod responsibilities, but doesn't. Remember that, guys? We literally had so many
Yeah.
meetings about her not being a mod.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's
If
had
I can-
after she literally screenshotted a moderator in Discord, dropped a link to that live stream, and then proceeded to fight with that moderator in the live chat and other mods, and then block a bunch of other people when she got mad and went on had a
Yeah.
hissy fit.
Another reason why I left is because the Joe investigation was disingenuous.
Oh my god!
That's all I'll
Yes,
say.
the CW
Okay.
Chanter thing. That was another thing. It just
That,
never ended.
that was disingenuous, and I reamed him for it. Many people, a lot of us did, but yeah, it wasn't. Remember this, guys. There's always a straight line to truth. Okay, there's always a straight line to truth. When you hear somebody meandering about here, there, and everywhere, they're feeding you a line. So just remember that.
That's what I said earlier about the CW Chanter thing, the Katie screenshot, everything he's covered that I can even remember in my recent memory. It's like it's done to just cloud everybody's judgment and they can't see. And I see it as gaslighting. I know what he's doing now, but the people that can't see it, it just drives me nuts. I mean, he says one thing on one Periscope and one thing on YouTube. So then he can go back and say, well, no, I said this on Periscope, go watch it. But then on Periscope, and it's just to all have something else to say. I don't know.
Disinformation. It's
Yeah.
like a psyop of disinformation. Sadly, it's a conspiracy thing, but it's true. He gaslights you until you're confused as to what the heck your name is.
Well, it's hard to respond. It's like, okay, he lied about me this way here. He lied about me that way there. Which lies do I pick to debunk
Yeah,
first?
I know. That's what I'm sitting here thinking. It's been, I mean, first I want to address, he said that someone, I'm assuming Maud got kicked for using racial slurs. That didn't happen. Maud did not get kicked. I don't believe any of us got kicked. I believe we all got an invite back that's still sitting in our inbox
Yes.
that we didn't go back to. And he says
couple of
on
them.
his last video, he says that we're just mad because nobody wants to hang out with us. Dude, we left. We didn't want to be there anymore with your hypocritical bullshit.
Well, to your point, I left, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I left. That thing, it got bad with Katie, and then she took Light into that voice room. Light just wanted to give her voice, but because Katie didn't know the person she thought she was his voice, she ended up giving her name. And
yes, but Bite Me said, well, this is another thing. At first, she said, I'll talk to you in a voice. And she said, I'll on Facebook or I'll Twitter or anything. And like, we ended up looking, and this woman was literally who she said she was. Anyways, keep talking. Sorry.
Well, I just want to say one thing. I'm sorry, because I actually sent Uni proof that Bite Me Now was not in Demi server.
Yeah.
That was the first time ever I had made any kind of like sock account, and it was so new to me that I was just so embarrassed. But I made this account to go into Demi server to make sure Bite Me Now wasn't in there like he was claiming, like she was this big Demi spy. She was not in that server.
No, not at
No.
all.
And
Not at
and
all.
I went as far as there was 2 Bite Me Nows on YouTube. One is Bite Me Now, and the other one was from like 6 years newer, and that was not her account, and I was able to prove that. And again, it just fell on deaf ears. So anyway, that situation goes down, and I ask Rach in general, hey, is that what we do now? We just, if we think somebody's a troll, we just drag them into voice, get their full legal name, and then run to Twitter with their alias and see if anyone can back up their legal name. And Rach is like, no, it's not what we do. And if anyone ever does that, you need to let an admin or us know, and they're out of here. I put that in my video. So
Yeah.
we have that big meeting about it because it was a Discord rule violation. He keeps saying,
Yeah.
those people are claiming that she was doxxed and she wasn't doxxed and public name and but kabucha and whatever the hell he's saying.
Yeah, but 10 minutes before that, he was saying that how Katie shared Creepshow's name, and you can't even tell people how many dogs you have in his server. No
Right,
personal
right,
information, no kids, no dogs, not even the state you live in. I mean,
right. So we have the big fight, and he runs out of that meeting because he's scared and can't take it, and because
stonks.
he can't deflect enough because there's 6 of us that are like, dude, you're not. This isn't cool. Any of us would be gone if we did this, and you know it.
Yes.
Next day comes, and I make my apology because I did say something extremely rude to another member because in the heat of the moment, things got a little out of control. It wasn't a racial slur though. And that person accepted my apology, and all of a sudden there's got to be a meeting. And I'm telling people, maybe we don't do this meeting. Like people are still kind of raw from last night, and Nana's like, no, Uni says we're doing a meeting. We're doing a meeting. So we do this meeting, and that's when all the failure of moderation stuff came out and all this other bullshit. And I'm like, you know what? I've had enough of this. At the time, my mom was really sick, and I believe it was the next day she ended up going into the hospital. And when she did, I just left the server. I left the server and told everybody I got too much on my plate. I can't deal with this hypocrisy in this place anyway. There's a lot of you I love and I'm going to miss. I'm out of here. And I left. Now, I had no intentions of ever going back. My mom got worse. My mom ended up passing away on March 30th of this year. And the very next day, I go into my Discord DMs and I get the first DM I've ever gotten in my whole entire life from Unirock. And it's an invalid invite back to his server that I don't even want to go to. And I'm going to tell you what, that was the last thing I needed to see. It was insult to injury that day. And I DM'd Rach, I DM'd Nana. I'm like, why would he even do this? This is bullshit. And everyone's like, well, he didn't know your mom was so sick. Got screenshots saying, oh my God, dude, just take care of what you got to take care of. Come back whenever you're ready. The dude knew. And I've tweeted all this. Everybody knows it. I've put it in videos. So to hear him say now that I was kicked for these other reasons and that I was a cuck and a simp for Katie and all this bullshit, it's funny, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, it's not funny to me because it was a very hard
No,
time,
no, brother. No.
So,
Yeah, I
He
know.
didn't.
That's why I take it so seriously, because my dad died in a fire 2 days after that meeting went down. I mean, literally. And I mean, my
Guys,
mom
can I
died when I
ask
was
you a
18.
question?
I'm 30, and they all knew that. And then not a one of them messaged me afterwards. I got one message from one admin to ask me about if I had any problems with Uni or his server, but I want to let Ma tell that story.
Can I ask one question real quick?
yeah.
Did he even know what the heck was going on in his own Discord server at that time?
No.
Thank
Absolutely.
No, definitely not.
Thank you. He would
No,
just
and he-
come in there, expect everybody to pull all this information together, and so he could run with a video. He wouldn't address problem. He would only address problems if there was a huge blow up. If you went
Yes.
to him with a concern, it was just kind of blown off, and you were given oh, it'll be all right, and that was just wrong. He didn't know what was going on in his own Discord server.
Yes, and that's because and I'll tell the God's honest truth, this is what it was. He couldn't listen to any videos of criticism of it because he can't stand to hear it. He would literally have people watch it and come tell him the points of it. And he likes to act like it's because he don't have time. Well, what else is he doing? That's literally his job is YouTube, he says. That's what he says. So, I mean...
Just don't have time. He games till 4 in the morning, sleeps till 4 in the afternoon. Everybody else does everything for him, and he just gets in a Discord meeting and he's like, all right, what's up, guys? What do you got for me? It's like, dude,
Yeah.
he's just like a 13-year-old.
Yeah, Sheena, you're right. He did. That's what he did. And you were there. You were a mod, I mean, that's all he did. He would just come in, say what he needed. And at the end, because even when all this happened, I had a couple of mods come to me and ask me to talk to Uni because me and Uni used to really get along. I talk through my thoughts and he does too, and so we would like go back and forth good with each other, and we liked the same thing when all this Q stuff was going on, and so we kind of got along really good, and it had just got to where he didn't enjoy being in there at all. He would snap at anybody that said anything to him.
Yes, you could
He
tell.
treated people like shit. Yeah.
It was almost unbearable to be in there. You can feel the just annoyance. It's almost like I felt like we were being annoying to him and that he had something else that he'd rather be doing, but he'd come in and just be like, so what do you guys have for me? And it's like, okay.
And then he'd blow up.
And then when you told him something that he didn't want to hear, he would just blow up. He would.
Yes.
That's just not what he wanted at all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give my PowerPoint presentation, and he's like, no, just give me the logical facts. What?
Well, remember, he did ask us several times, what's your guys' big problem with Katie? And I brought up his Periscope where he tells the story about her going on IG and saying one thing, getting everybody worked up, mass flag on YouTube. I go, when you said all that stuff, it's still correct now. She's still doing all those things. And he's like, well, I was biased back then. I was believing Steve, so none of that can be true. And isn't it funny that we're right back to that now, and there's a $5 million lawsuit against
I know.
Katie for those exact things.
The irony is just...
Yeah. And he's going to act like, well, it's been brought to my attention that Katie really isn't good. You knew she wasn't good. And before I forget, I do want to touch on what happened to you 2 days after you lost your dad.
Mm-hmm.
You were in another person's stream, and that person, unrelated to Unirock's channel, doesn't do the same content.
It's a Synthetic Rebellion. Go sub to him.
Yeah,
okay.
Synthetic Rebellion. And I believe somebody was in there collecting names, and you just threw one out there, and that name happened to be Katie Rock. And that got screenshotted.
I was talking to Lee, because Lee always says names, and so I said something about Katie Rock. Okay, anyway, continue.
And that's how petty he was, that you called him Katie Rock, and he took your admins. And then he acted like, well, I'm just taking Hannah's admins right now because she hasn't been around a lot. It's like, no, you're taking Hannah's admins because she called you by your actual name, Katie Rock.
Wait, no, didn't he go into the whole backtrack of saying that he took everybody's wrench and that he was just going to give it back in a day or two, you guys?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
About me as well. So, one thing real quick is I didn't care, and this isn't hating or throwing shade, but he would scream at certain moderators right on a live show. I mean, scream.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how many times that happened.
I should have known better. My experience, I'm sorry, y'all. The dog is so bored that he is snoring so loud. My experience, I wanted to join the team or the group of people called Unirock / you guys because I felt like he was actually a good guy. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to share the story of the people that I had met and talked to that were like in the truther community. I thought he was going to be a great place for me to platform off and get some sort of, help with getting the story out, that some of the stories that I'm seeing are not accurate. And so I thought he was a good guy. And when I first clicked into the show, when I started talking, he was yelling either you, Hannah, or at w.a.r. on like a live
Both of
stream. And
us.
I'm like, he doesn't even
It was
stand for
both of
his
us.
mods. He's literally yelling at them, and they just cut somebody that was clearly spamming the chat. Like you could see it as a viewer.
Yes.
You
I
could tell
remember
that,
that
you
because
guys did what you were supposed to do and, took out somebody that was spamming the chat, and he didn't see what occurred all the way and just literally started screaming at you guys on live stream.
Yeah, he did
It
that.
happens
It
quite a
really
bit.
wasn't appreciated.
It's a, it's all good now. Like I said, I'm happy as a clam. You know, and I whatever floats his boat, whatever makes them happy, whatever.
Well, here's an example of an assignment from Unirock.
Simon.
Yeah, an assignment. All right, guys, I'm going to need this information. If you can find videos and people that are covering this material, take them to the live stream room, and we're going to go
You
over it.
do that way too good, bro. Sorry.
I do. Thank
He's
you.
perfect at it.
And, well, so we would go out and we'd say, okay, let's find this stuff and compare notes and make sure we brought him the correct information. One time, he was going to do a follow-up on Danny Lee. Good old Danny Lee. Everybody's a SRA survivor, that nut job. He's off the platform now. But he's going to wrap it up, and he's going to do one final video on Danny. Good old Danny boy. And I found a creator by the name of Probot Workshop, and he had just excellent material that on Danny Lee and all the stupid stuff he's ever pulled. And I brought him some videos, and he liked them. He said he'd seen them before. And I actually, I left a comment for Probot, like, hey, Unirock wouldn't mind working with you. If you'd like to come to the Discord, you guys can maybe do a collaboration on Danny Lee. He'd like to use some of your material. And Probot was like really excited because, Uni had a great big channel compared to him. And he was totally down. He's like, yeah, man, let's do it. So I couldn't get a hold of Unirock because he was too busy. And I asked Rach, I'm like, hey, Probot really wants to get in the server. He wants to collab. He's got a lot of good information on Danny Lee. And Rach was like, yeah, I'll get it set up. Well, that never happened. What happened is Uni took Probot's video, took portions of it, didn't credit him, used it, and then blew him off and never got back with me. Now, I get a notification and Probot's responded to my comment and he's not happy. He's like really ticked off. He's like, not only didn't get to work with him, he just used my content, didn't credit me, and I'm done. He's like, I'm sorry, Mod. I know it's not your fault. You were trying to help, but I don't ever want to hear that dude's name again. And that's a typical how things worked out when you tried to help Uni. He just used whatever you brought him, and then took a shit on you. That's how he rolls. Uh-oh.
You guys, I can't believe the dog is snoring this loud. Can you hear it?
Did
I can
anybody?
hear.
Did you quiet? You guys are giving me a complex. What happened?
Sorry, no, I had it on mute.
Oh,
Me too.
No, I'm having to mute also because hippopotamus over here is snoring like.
did anybody hear a word that I said then?
Yes, I heard
Yeah, we
it.
did. We were listening. We were just muted.
Yeah, that happened. And I really felt bad because Probot, he's a good guy, and I just, that was a real turnoff. Like, why am I doing this? I I've been treated bad at jobs before, but at least I got a paycheck. I'm volunteering for this abuse. I'm a member of this channel paying to be abused like this. It was
Yeah.
like, that's enough of this shit.
And that's another thing. Fight Me Now was a paying member of his channel too. That
Yeah.
really that
Hi,
that
baby.
really that's the reason why I eventually
You okay?
I'll say what he did was when he took my admins and my wrench, he never said a word. And like I said, this was like days after my dad died. And so I stayed in the server for 1 week and nobody ever said a word to me about it. And so I just left. And when I left, I tweeted about it, and I tweeted because Rachel had gone in there and made a comment about people saying, why did you get rid of X mods? Well, maybe we shouldn't have had that many to begin with. Some smart ass comment that really just like, it just caught me the wrong way. So I screenshotted that, put it on Twitter, and said I was leaving. And that's it. But he went live and said, I don't know, to come and talk to them, to what did he say? After he lied a little bit and I proved that he was lying, he came back and said that we could figure this out, to come back in the Discord to message Nana of 7. At that point, she had me blocked. Now, I don't have any problems with Nana. I'm not saying that. But I was blocked at that time. She unblocked me eventually. I checked back later and she had unblocked me. But it's just the games that he plays, and he does it with everybody. It's not just, I mean, I don't know how he has even the people that he has left around him now. And I feel bad because every one of them will get to this point eventually. And it really does hurt your feelings because you think you have a friend, especially I was there for over 2.5 years. And just to be, I don't know, the way they are is just, it just disappointed me. I'll say that. And get messages today when people see that we're doing this stream, that we're doing a hate stream and all this. Like, I've not hated on him. I've not gone around and ran my mouth. I've corrected him with a few tweets when I've seen him live stream into his huge platform when I have none. And I mean, I just keep seeing it, and he just won't shut up. So how else are we supposed to, am I ever supposed to tell my side or anything like that if I can't, I mean, if we can't stream? I just don't understand that. It amazes me.
Well, that's what he does. He'll run his mouth and assume nobody else can make a video or get on stream and say what they got to say because he just blocks everybody in the comments and doesn't respond to tweets or DMs. So it's like, all right, dude, here's your video. Now it's out. You like it? And now we're going to talk. And we're going to tell everybody what kind of a creep you were. You wanted it like this, you got it. Here you go.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like they all have that same characteristic.
Say that again, PJ.
I said I feel like all of these YouTubers have this similar characteristic of feeling like they're some type of celebrity. And
yeah, he's definitely got that. I don't talk to people. I don't accept DMs. I can't interact with anybody in the Discord server because it goes wrong. It's like, dude, you're not Britney Spears. Just chill out yourself,
Free Britney. I know. It was just, he really
WOAR had to call it a night, like, you guys. WOAR had to go.
Okay.
All right.
Oh yeah, Brandy Beaver. I saw that. I've seen that happen. Sheena, you're right. I fully believe that he can't let it go, and I'm not. And he'll say I'm a Steve troll. Of course, this again is the closest contact I've ever came with Steve is him just tagging me in this chat a little bit ago. But I think just like with the CW Chanter thing, he gets it in his mind and he can't stop. And he'll be damned to anybody else that tries to tell him logical facts or rational thought or anything like that. He won't have it. It's just not happening.
What is it that Steve actually did to him to make him this angry?
Ooh, I can answer that.
Oh,
I know exactly what. Okay. When he did those videos on Katie, and they were fire. Like, he was fairly accurate about the things she was up to. The ones that are
the ones that he actually said the valid criticism on Katie that he claims he didn't know anything about now.
Yes, those ones there. When he actually did some homework, we brought him some of that information. We were the ones telling him, dude, she's on Kiwi Farms digging through people's information and past. She's looking up court records and paying for it. He knows all this stuff, right? So
because she's done it in this Discord this whole time. She dropped Leslie's court stuff twice. And he's been right there. I mean, he might have not been looking at that moment, but I mean, he knows it's going on.
He knows, and he knew then because that early stuff, when Steve first came to him, he was really getting slandered by Katie, and that's why he did those early ones. He took up for Steve because they were friends. So I think he saw the dollar signs. Like he looked at Steve's channel and then he looked at Katie's channel and he sees, wow, even with all this controversy, she just does better each time. Controversy makes her gain subs. And I think the little gears started turning in his head and he started saying, well, on my versus mode, I always try to talk to the other party. And he starts softening up those periscopes and Katie, all you got to do is reach out and we can stop this and I'll get your side. Well, then finally one day, she reached out on Periscope, and I have it somewhere, and he ended up getting on a regular phone call with her, not a Discord or anything like that. They talked on the phone, so I have no idea what was discussed. But the next thing I know, Katie gets an invite to the Discord, and as soon as she came into that Discord and came in and she cried, she went in and first they had a private meeting in a separate room. And then she came into general and she cried for everybody and everybody felt bad for her and this happened to me and that happened to me. And then he decided I'm going to do my criticism of Steve and quit responding to Steve. Steve was like, "Oh, wait a minute, dude." And some other things happened in there and I'm not going to be talking about because they're highly controversial. But he decided he was going to do his criticism of Steve and he made a big joke out of it. What wasn't funny is he just quit talking to Steve during that time. And Steve was like, hey, wait a minute, dude, before you do this, you've got some information wrong. And he went on live anyway, and he did the stream. And Steve came into the Discord, and he's like, "Will someone tell him to let me in the stream? His information is incorrect." And
Thing he claims that when he's doing a piece on somebody, he can't have them in his ear. Remember?
right, but it was totally sided because what he was doing was
Right.
swooning Katie to get on her good side so he could jump on her coattail instead of his. Because that's what he's a coattail rider. And I think that he figured he'd ridden Steve's coattails as far as he could. And he wanted to switch to the makeup world. So
That makes a lot of sense.
that's what he did. And it correlates to the admin meetings Hannah was in where he figured that Katie was going to have 1 million subs and he
But
was going to
how did he know that? Why was he so adamant that she was going to go to 1 million and that he was going to ride along with her? I just don't see her as being that personable and that great at what she does. I don't. I've never really.
it's the Howard Stern effect. She doesn't have to be great. She doesn't have to be liked. She just has to be controversial.
She literally picks the opposite side of so like the Sophie Long case. She picked the side that made people mad that people didn't want to hear, but they're going to click on her stream just to go in it. That's how she gets views that she does. She literally does like with the Duggars, she'll say one of them's gay or is trying to out one of them. She does anything that's like will shock people into clicking on her stream. It's literally the only thing I can figure out because none of her views even align. Like they don't line up. It's not like she's doing this because it's what she thinks or feels. It's all just based on what she sees as getting views.
Exactly. And from that point on, Katie got more accepted into the server, and he started doing more and more streams against Steve, which that turned into a big war. Now he's got more videos on Steve than Katie has on the Duggar family or whatever their name is, and it turned into what it is. And that leads me to this. This is the best part. Katie wasn't enough. He hit Katie up for Kyle's number because, hey, there's somebody else that hates Steve, and I hate Steve.
Yep.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So he dragged. Kyle was in the wind. Like this dude knew he lost. He knew he screwed over Steve. So he's in the wind, and then Uni goes and digs him up because he gets the number or contact from Katie, and kind of rebuilds his reputation enough that he can sell this Kyle creep to his community, and supports his GFM, gets him a lawyer. Everybody, we're gonna help Kyle because Steve is bad. And then that just came full circle. Kyle's in Mexico now. Everybody's out $5,000 donated to that. His other buddy Katie that didn't like Steve, she's getting sued for $5 million, and now he's thinking about using us for content again, I think, and that's just not gonna. If he wants to use us for content, I got some content for him. we'll tell everybody what really happened.
Well, all I know is that when Kyle did his first interview with Uni, Katie got pissed off, went into Uni's server and said, Kyle is a drug addict, Kyle's a liar, something about Steve, and then she left the server. Which,
Yep.
I remember
I
that.
wasn't paying attention to his content then. I just was seeing the Discord because from being an admin in there. And it was just, I don't know. When I looked back on it after she got back in the server or whatever happened, I scrolled back and I saw that and I'm like, what even happened here? I mean, why did she even do that? She like freaked out when Kyle went on with Uni. But then when Kyle happened to come in the meeting that day when we were talking about Katie, when he was doing his big dramatic, he couldn't believe we lost confidence in him and drag and drop his big exposed Katie file, that, you know, he had this big expose file on her. That was 9 months ago. But now he says he doesn't know anything she's done for the last year. So which is it? I mean, he's just.
He's totally full of shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
He's totally full of shit. I'll give him credit. It's hard to pick apart his bullshit when there's this much bullshit. It's like, how do you pick what bullshit you're going to expose that
I
day?
know. I mean,
Pile after pile of it. But yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what he really thought, how he thought any of this could work when you bet on people that are known to be liars and con artists and just have bad behaviors and go against TOS, pull mass flags off, try to get channels shut down, and at the same time you're going to tell your audience you're the good stewards of the community. I don't know how he thought this was
Dana
really.
McWhite, we're not wrong. We lived it. We were there. We were the mods this happened to. It can't be debunked. Seriously, stop telling us we were wrong. We've been told that and lied about for 9 months. We're here to stop lying about stuff.
Bring him on.
I
Let's
mean,
bring Dana. I'd like to talk to Dana. Dana seems
I
to have.
think Dana just is anti-Steve. It's just one of those things.
Oh, there's a lot of that.
I mean,
There's a
I
lot.
wish they would realize that just because you don't have to be pro Steve. I'm not pro anybody. I've never watched a Steve stream. I never watched a Unirock stream about Steve. That's how fucking boring it is. I don't want, I mean, like, I'm just saying, sorry, but it's just.
Steve is in the chat. You're going to hurt his feelings.
Well, I'm just saying, no, I mean,
I know.
Unirock's coverage of it. It's just not my thing. I mean, it's not what I like to do. I mean.
I think Steve's reasonable.
I knew what you meant.
Well, a lot of people don't want to talk about math, and I don't think he's hurt. I think that's okay with him. I mean, you're not saying anything about his character like Uni, so I think that's
No,
totally fine.
and I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like, I don't know. A lot of people are very sensitive nowadays, and to me, it's almost like you can't critically explain anything to them without them getting their feelings hurt, not saying anything about the person in particular, and I'm going to just give it back to you guys because my headgear is cutting off my circulation. Dog is still snoring so loud.
I'm going to open up the live chat. I closed YouTube altogether to have a better kind of connection, but I want to see.
There's a lot of questions in there, and I was trying to keep track of them, and Kiki sent me a handful of them in the Discord, but it's literally been like 30 minutes since, and I don't know if they're even still valid.
Well, let's start reading a few. Let's see what we can do with that.
Okay. Me. Oh my god.
Yeah, Uni has said many times himself he doesn't watch Katie's videos. See, he says that about everything so he can claim ignorance, but ignorance isn't an excuse here. It's just not. When you claim to be an expert and give commentary on something and are giving your opinion that are influencing others, you cannot use ignorance as an excuse.
Ignorance.
Steve wants to know why so many Unirock fans or people that watch Unirock don't ask him for actual evidence of his claims. Do we know that answer?
Read it one more time.
Well, if you ask him for evidence of his claims, you get called a Steve troll. I mean,
yeah,
I'm proof for that.
He doesn't know his own evidence. All he knows, he skipped. Here's what another thing that he would like to do. You'd go out and you'd find information, and it'd be thorough, and it'd have bullet points. He'd skim over it, go on stream, and get it wrong, and then blame his mods for bringing him incorrect information. As far as him providing evidence, forget it. He'll never do it. He'll call you a troll and shut you down. He's done it a million times.
Exiled, I don't know. I know. I mean, if I could tell you, I would. I know that he used to. I remember the stream where you like outed yourself or something to him and stuff, but I really wasn't paying attention at that point. See, that's the thing is he says that I left about Katie and because Katie did this, and I didn't pay attention to Katie's shitty behavior until after I left. I left because my standards were for Unirock. I didn't have standards for her. It's like a guy that cheats on his, like when a relationship, when somebody cheat, I mean, and they get mad at the other person. That's not what it was. I had my standards were for Unirock. I believed in him, and that when he showed me that I couldn't anymore, that's when I left. I mean, that's just, I know that's kind of a pathetic way to put it, but it's really how it is.
No, I mean, I fully agree with that, and it was around the same type of reason as to why I left is where I started seeing the difference in what my morals were and what his were.
Yeah, Sheena, you're right. He'll say, go watch my streams from the last 9 months. I mean, oh, I would rather watch goats fuck. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I mean, I just, oh.
The dog is still snoring so loud. Dog. There were a couple of other questions. I really don't know how anybody wears this much stuff on their head. It really seriously feels like it's 100 degrees in here.
I've got headphones on and I'm hot.
Lee Veltman asked what happened with Red's rhetoric and if it's okay to ask. I don't really know what that's in regards to.
Oh, I do. Give me a second. I'm typing something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm probably going to turn my face off because I need to take this stuff off. I'm about to die, y'all.
I would take it off. It was cute.
So what was the question? What happened with Uni and Lee?
No.
Red's
What
rhetoric.
happened with
Lee
Red's
asked what
rhetoric?
happened with
Oh, that's even better. You're gonna love this. When the fallout occurred between Uni and Steve, Uni thought he had all these great friends that were going to side with him against Steve, like Reds, Bull,
Team.
Team. You know,
That
he
hurt
just
his feels.
right. So when they didn't do that, and Chesh and people tried to correct Uni, like, dude, you're way off the plan. You're way off the plot here. Um, he got even more butthurt. And then I don't know exactly the events that led to it, but he jumped on a live stream with Red's Rhetoric, and Red's Rhetoric basically did the same thing Creepshow did. He just destroyed him, and that was the end of that. There was no more friendship. The Uni then tried to claim that they talked all the time, and Red used to call me just to talk about life stuff. And I don't know if Red showed his Skype logs, but it proved there's no phone calls between them. So Uni just totally lost it on that deal. It was kind of funny, in my opinion.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
Skill,
I
I
didn't
don't know
even know
anything
that.
about Uni and Lee. All I know is he just wouldn't ever talk to Lee because he was trying to hide, my opinion, allegedly, didn't want to talk about things that Lee knew about.
Exactly. Yeah, he does that too. Anything he can twist to divert. Obfuscate is his new favorite word. I think he heard me using it.
Oh,
He
he
can
learned
he'll
a
do
new
it.
word?
Yeah, obfuscate. He's gonna be saying that like a
It's like
narrative.
Katie saying, I digress.
Yeah, yeah. Did you steal that from Richie from Boston? I mean, you wouldn't
Provably.
think.
Yes.
You get me? You get me, my
You
dude.
get me? Oh, shit.
Hey yo.
Yes,
Every time I hear that.
Uni really, and I'm not saying this in a mean way. He liked Breads and Team. I mean, you got to think he totally tailored his content around debunking flat Earth, which might I add. I won't even add that because I don't even want to try to start doing that again. That'll just be bad for YouTube as a whole. But, damn, I just lost my train of thought. But he wanted to be friends with them and accepted by them, and then when. I mean, look how long Team Skeptic stayed as an admin in his Discord after him and Steve fought. I mean, this was like months. I mean, I think, I don't know how he left, but like it finally had to come into like a fight or whatever, confrontation before he ever kicked Team or Team ever left or anything. He wanted to leave that line of communication open just in case Maybe, I guess.
Did. Well, look how long, I think his name's Dave McGinnis. I never talked to him. He seemed like a super nice guy. He was in there forever too. And finally one day he's like, I think he's a spy. I think he's spying for Steve, and he has been the whole time.
Oh my
I've left
God.
him there. Yeah, and then he finally kicked him. It's like that dude never did anything to you ever. It's like, but you're buddies with Nick. You're buddies with Nick Suter though, because he turned around and stabbed Steve in the back, so he's okay. But Dave's got to go. It's so see through.
My favorite was when he was saying fight the flat earth with besties with them still, and fight the flat earth was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Here's my thing is, this is what I'm trying to figure out, y'all. So he's gone back and done this video where he was wrong about Katie and Katie's this and that. But in that same video, he tells us that we're wrong about literally something that's provably right. I mean, that is literal screenshots of it. And he can't just say, I'm sorry, like we were all friends, like y'all were right or anything. That will never happen. Like I had hoped maybe that would happen, but it's obviously not.
No, it's over. It's once you reach a point with him, you just can't come back. I don't know. Next, we're ready for another question. Lay another question on us.
Yeah.
Kiki wanted to know how many channels Uni actually has.
He's got Unirock. I mean, actually, there's a bunch, but he's got Unirock TV, Unirock 2, Rock a Lot. He had the Red Pill to Pay the Bills channel, and there's another Unirock radio. When I left,
there's a Unirock review also.
Yeah, but he changes the names of them. But the three that actually have that he does anything on, which he doesn't on his main channel, Unirock TV anymore, but Unirock 2 and Rock a Lot. And yes, Sheena, you're right. I've had some people message me like saying, who are these people there anymore? And I mean, there's besides, I'm not going to say, because I mean, although they don't like me, the mods that are there now, I don't have a problem with them. I like them. They didn't do anything to me. I didn't do anything to them. So why they would have a problem with me is illogical. But there's many people that I've never seen before. I mean, when the day that the YouTube purge happened and Jordan Sather and all those people lost their channels, me, Dodger, Mod, Lee was there, a couple people, Jolly was there. We ended up all in the chat at the same time, and all in his chat at the same time, and it was just random. I mean, it's not like we planned it. Dilly was there. Love you, Dilly. And I sound like I'm shouting out somebody. Dear God, help me. But he oh my God. But shut up, stop laughing. I just totally lost my train of thought. But damn it, what was I gonna say? Oh, I didn't notice any of the people. And like none of those people knew who we were. They're like, who are these people? Who are these people? And it's like, I mean, we've been here for years. Who the hell are y'all? I mean, like, I don't know. But yeah, I was just more to your point. I've never I don't know. It's just a revolving door. And most of the new people, that it's changing all the time. I mean, even people that were there 6 months ago aren't there today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how long can you stay doing that? It's too much. I mean.
You mean? Never mind. I'm not gonna be. Shut up.
But and another thing about all those channels, this will be breathtaking for Uni tonight. He's demoted me everywhere except for one channel, Red Pill to Pay the Bills. I still have a wrench on that channel.
Oh my God.
For somebody that's 10 steps ahead, he really doesn't seem like it to me. He might think that, but it's not like that.
Nah, it's not like that at all. The 10 steps ahead that he thinks he is are what I was of him. Like, I can play his game better than he can play it. He taught me how to play his game. I know how he plays his game. And so he needs to just leave me alone. I really, really hope he doesn't come back and say that I'm lying about anything I've said tonight, because I have proof of it all. And I'm not trying to share DMs and things like that. But if that's what it comes down to defend myself and my name, that's what I'm going to do. So I just hope he understands that.
That was my main thing tonight, is that we could have shared all the screenshots we had of everything that we have proof over, and we didn't because our story lines up and it's exactly what we said, in March and April. And so I figured we could get this out one last time, and he can't come back with anything because, call us a troll or a conspiracy theorist all day long, but there's really just no solid proof to prove that we're in fact these things he's calling us.
Well,
How can he say what we're saying is wrong? I mean,
he's going to. It
yeah, I
doesn't
know.
matter.
I know
He's
it's
gonna
coming.
he's gonna say all kinds of crazy stuff, and I don't even know if it's worth responding. If we do, we have all the screenshots. We have a timeline. We know when things happened. Um, for Hannah and I, some really traumatic things happened in our lives during those times. So our timelines are etched in stone as to what occurred and when.
Yep.
So if he wants to bring it, it's not a problem. My thing is though, I almost don't not almost, I don't care what he thinks or anyone that chooses to believe him thinks. Um, there's only so much I can do. And if you go back and watch all of his videos and you see
Oh.
how many times he's contradicted himself, you're going to come to the same conclusions we have, or you're not. So that's on the viewer, So I'm not trying to take out his channel or burn anyone down. We're setting some facts straight, and that's it. That's the end of it. This isn't material I want to cover for the rest of my life. He would love to make content out of it because he's out of coattails to ride, but it ain't gonna be mine. I'm a 385 sub channel, I think, right now. So
Yeah, and
You
Keemstar shared
totally
your video. And he
went
got
past
super
my
jealous
numbers.
about it.
I loved that too. It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, he said that Keem loved trolling him. Excuse me.
I don't
Keem
think
did
Game was.
not know who you were until I know that's a fantasy that he likes to play in his head, but I don't believe that. And that he wasn't trolling you. Like, it's literally the truth. They're just screenshots and explaining what the screenshots say. There is no debunking those screenshots. Like,
They are what they are. Like
I know.
the thing that happened with Bite happened on the 24th, and then I got the invalid invite back on the 31st. How are you going to tell me, or was the first? It was in like 6 or 7 days. All this took place. How was he going to get on stream and say, and that guy was kicked a month later for saying bad things?
I
I,
know.
I mean, if people want to believe that, believe it. There's screenshots and like 6 or 7 of us that have came right out and said what happened. So again, that's on the viewer. And you know what? I'll give him credit. He tells a good story. He really
Yeah,
can.
he
He really.
does. He
He
does
should have
do
been.
that.
He could have been a politician with the amount of.
He should have been.
He really
I
should have.
really like that dramatic video,
Disinformation
you
is
guys.
necessary. I mean,
That
we
dramatic
all
video
know
was probably the best drama
that
I'd seen out.
I mean, it's really sad because he actually used to have good edited videos, and I know he didn't want to do that one of Katie, obviously, but I mean, it's not his best work. He hasn't done his best work in a long time. What I would like to see for him, because I mean, a lot of people weren't there for long. I'll and he's gonna hate me forever now because I've came on here and actually spoken out and not in private, behind the where nobody can see what it's really like. But I mean, I would like to see him do good and be happy. Like, I mean, somebody asking here about Rach. I love Rach. I haven't talked to her since then. I was close with them. I was disappointed in the way that she acted at the end. But I mean, she's just defending Uni, I guess. And she used to do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff when he used to do interviews. I mean, he interviewed ancient aliens and when he actually used to put out content. But I mean, I'm sure she does stuff for his channel now, but I don't even really understand what his channel is at this point. He's not really doing anything but been Katie's PR firm and not a very good one.
No, it's like, yeah, it wouldn't be a fun job. It would be like Mike Tyson's PR firm in the 80s. I just I don't know. Next question. I like these questions. Let's do another question. Is there another question?
There probably is.
Pick a good one. Pick a difficult one that
Well, they're talking about the
Golden
Fango's
Unicorn.
former PR firm.
Oh yeah,
Or,
that was Dilly. Dilly asked Steve if he had always worked with the Fango and all that.
yeah, Steve,
Well,
you should look that up, Steve.
Yeah, you should.
You should. You should really look that up.
That's all
um,
I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing else.
Me either.
I guess this isn't actually a question, but Golden Unicorn says it's like Jason does not care that his mods have a life and commitments outside of YouTube and his little Discord. No, he definitely doesn't seem to care. He typically calls meetings like 5 minutes out in advance, and they're sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I don't believe he cares.
Just Brett said, "Do you guys miss Unirock?" I miss the Unirock that I knew a year ago. And like I said, I took a break from his channel last August. Not his channel, the actual YouTube in general, because I was doxxed and threatened, and my shit got hacked, and so it was just a lot for me. But I was still in the Discord, and when all that happened, Uni totally changed his content model, and he wasn't happy with whatever he was covering. He went through CW Chanter to Flat Earth to then Steve to then Katie, and that's what he's still on now.
Well, don't
I
forget to
miss the person
mention
that
that
he used to be.
you were doxxed because
What?
of the reason that you were in the uni area, right?
Well, yeah, but yeah, I mean, it just because, but I took up for him. That was my deal. I was there doing it, so it's not like it's. I don't want to like put that on him or try
Right.
to discredit myself by saying that. But I miss who he used to be. I mean, we were like a family there, like Dodger saying in the comments and people. We were all really close, and it just sucks that. I mean, I don't know who they are anymore. Really, it's what it seems like.
I've got to pipe in with something on that. We were like a family, and there were some people I was really close to in there. I don't see those people in his streams anymore. At least one
Nope.
of them in particular.
One
And
of them in particular, I don't want to.
you know exactly who I'm talking about too.
Yep.
She's the nicest person. One of the nicest people I've ever met. I
Mm-hmm.
hope she hears this, and I know that she knows I'm talking about her, and I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah, I do too. I know she had some stuff going on. I just hope she's doing good.
And she sure didn't need all this bull crap. This isn't what she signed up for either. To come into Discord every day for all this bull crap and the Katie explosions and all the crap that was going on. That wasn't like a family when all that crap started anymore.
Yeah, just Brett. That's what it was. More the community. That's what took so long to leave. I mean, it was just hard to because there was things that had happened and had been happening, but then basically I think everybody that left knew they were going to leave when he treated WAR like shit that day, because he really talked down to WAR in front of the whole entire chat just to blame him for moderating Katie or whatever it was that he did. And I mean, WAR might have been heavy-handed with it. I don't know, but that's not a reason to ever degrade somebody in front of a room full of people. And Uni had all these new people that had been brought in there that, in my opinion, they all just think that they weren't the same kind of people as we were. They didn't like to discuss things as their way or the highway. Some of them, not all of them. But I mean, and it just felt like him doing that in front of them just gave them a bad. They just judge. I don't know how to really explain it, but it was just the community more so.
Yeah, well, I think the new people look at the old people that spoke up and called him on his stuff, and they really don't want to have that adversary relationship with him. They like being there. They like the company that they do still have, even though it's not like when we were there. And I don't know. I kind of wish they would though, because at least when people were, checking Uni, like, no, dude, you can't say that, or that's stupid, or you've got that wrong, or that is not the information I brought you, or that person is full of it. He would at least sometimes stop what he was doing and change
Yeah.
direction. Now, I think he's got a lot of yes men around him, and you look at the content he's putting out, and it kind of shows it. I don't know who was around him every time he decided to, like those streams he did. Brick Glow and Eyeshadow Island, those streams he did, or that
I know.
stream with Kyle, That was just disgusting. He
It
doesn't know
was.
these two ladies from anybody. Going to get on there because they made critiques of Katie and just tear them a new one for no
Yeah, and
other
didn't he
reason.
say something about one of them's forehead or something? I mean, hello, look at the person he's taken up for. I mean, it's just there was nothing. It was so ridiculous. I mean, he didn't listen to any of their criticism. They had what they were saying was valid, and they weren't Katie trolls or Katie haters or whatever he likes to classify anybody that with criticism as. And see, this is another thing. He claims to be her friend or whatever, but a friend would not let somebody keep on acting like that, like she acted. I mean, he condoned that stuff. And if you go back to the stream where Charlie Gold came on, somebody's in the chat saying, and he laughs and like does his hands together, says, no, he wants her to keep responding. So it's almost like he was pushing her to do that. And it's like anybody that was her real friend would have been like, hey, get it together. You can't do this. Like, this is the deal. I mean, but he never did that. And I don't understand it because no matter what he says, he's smart when it comes to things like that. He can look at a situation. I know that it's hard to imagine, but as many times as he's been wrong in the last year, but he hasn't been wrong because he didn't know he wasn't wrong. I hate to say that because I'm not, but really, I mean, you can't look at Katie and see all her problematic behavior and then see it before and then it just all go away. And then it come back again and be like, oh, well, I was wrong for that many months. Well, I thought I called her out for the things that she was for a month and then I forgot all about it for a year, but now it's back. I mean, that doesn't happen. So I don't know.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. What the thing of it was he he really, I don't know how he thinks he can deny he knew all the things that are coming to light now when he was early on one of the people that exposed that stuff. He at one time um, was using the the WOACB Reddit Discord. He looked at that information and he used it. Now he says it's all biased and based and they're just Katie haters. And now these things, have happened with Katie where she's docked somebody again in his server. He's going to say, oh, maybe some of those criticisms were valid. No, dude, you can't go back and forth that many times and expect to maintain any credibility. You can't do it. It just not as far as me being a viewer. I'm not going to watch a channel that does that. It just you know it's it's not going to work for me.
Yeah, I just and the thing is I go back to all the previous relationships that he's burned to the ground before now, and that's the one thing that when he let that slip with Katie, I had watched him hold all these other creators to this standard, or if not a higher one, to where whenever they did one thing, he would flip on it and then make content on that, what they had done wrong or whatever. And that's really what made me mad because he did do that. He held everyone to this higher, like this extremely high standard, but then when it came to her, he just couldn't see it. And I know that it's not that he just can't see it. He can see it. And Oscar, you're right. It gaslights the way his word salad is talking in circles. All that I can't even stand to listen to one of his periscopes or streams because he literally changes. He goes back and forth so much, and it infuriates me because I can spot it now like crazy. And um, it,
It's exactly I know exactly what you mean. Now, when I hear him talk, I'll go back 2, 3 streams and I can just pick out inconsistency after
yeah,
inconsistency. It drives me nuts. I can't do it anymore either. That's why this is kind of going to be a finale for me covering him because I need a break. I've been watching too many of his streams. There's other things to watch. I'd rather watch paint dry or somebody
me
fix.
too.
You know what I mean? It's like I made a I made an audio mashup that it could have been 6 hours if I had wanted it to have been. It was just I don't know. You know, do I have any more questions? Wait a minute, Bite Me Now had a question. Yes, he's bald as a bat. Absolutely. That's why he wears all that shit on his head. That's to answer that question.
We're totally not going to share things unless we have proof.
I can prove that.
Oh, okay.
You don't want me to, and he don't want me to, but I can prove that. Do you want me to?
I don't know. We'll see what he said.
I'm so sorry, Tina. I'm literally desperately trying to unhide Tina. That was a complete accident. And it's like I have to go through 15 different screens to find the setting to freaking find the block people on my list, which there really weren't any up until today. So I'm really sorry. And the dog is still snoring really loud, so I'm going to go back to mute.
Give us one more question before you go to mute.
That's fine.
I saw one. I literally just saw one. Somebody wants to know why Uni doesn't use his original channel.
That's a good question. I don't know. I have a theory, and I think it's accurate, but I'll just state it as my opinion. Most of the stuff he was covering on that when he got up to 30K or whatever he's got is no longer allowed on YouTube. He ended up keeping that content up way too long. He almost lost his partnership program for having it up too long. So he whittled it down to like, I think 4 or 5 videos. I don't know. And I don't know why he doesn't use it though. That's why he does. That's what happened to it. You know, he actually had some interesting things on there. And
Okay, but the thing is he says that it was because of demonetization, but he got that channel got demonetized way after he stopped using it.
oh, that channel's not monetized?
Well, no, it is again. He lost monetization for, it said repeated content or something. And the only reason I know this is because Kev Baker got hit with that this was like a year or two ago. And then after they had figured out why Kev Baker got hit with it, Uni got hit with it after. Maybe it was the opposite. But he was not using that channel when that happened. I think that some of those videos were in the algorithm and they were just bigger videos. And he stopped doing that content and he was always planning on going back to it, but he never did. And so those videos still get views, like the Avril Lavigne video. I don't know what's on there. I haven't looked in so long. And I think they might just give you, so he just leaves them there. I don't know. I can't imagine why you wouldn't use that channel having that many subs. I mean, are they subs? I don't know. I mean,
that's a lot of subs to sit there and wait for years for him to do something with it again. Like, I wonder, he's got like, I think 18 on Rock-A-Lot, which I think that used to be his after show channel when he did stream on Unirock. Or yeah, he went, not Rock-A-Lot. He used to stream on Unirock, then he'd go to Unirock 2 to do the after show. And I think there's like 18,000 or so on Unirock 2. And I wonder how many of those 30K went from Unirock to Unirock 2, because it's completely different content. You know, it's not all of them. There's not 30K on Unirock 2.
I have a theory that if he posts a video on that channel, all the people that forgot that he existed that are still subbed are going to instantly unsub.
But yeah, you're probably right.
Because of the fact that it's different content.
Yeah. Cheshire, that's how I got there through QAnon. I was on Twitter. This was during like 2016, the election, when it was like really big on Twitter. And a guy named 0 Hour 1 went on Unirock's show to expose QAnon. And I followed him from his Twitter Periscope to Unirock's live chat. And I started talking in it. I didn't even have a YouTube channel or a YouTube thing at that point, and I ended up making one because of Dodger and started talking in there. And then Dodger got me into the Discord and got me Lee and got me he's the reason I became a mod, actually.
I just read what Lee wrote.
Oh.
Probably shouldn't go there. I'm not going to, but I want to. Dead Bugs and Beyond, and I'm back quiet.
But yeah. How'd you become a mod, PJ?
I became a mod because according to Unirock, he looked at me just like he looked at Britters and Amzy, and I was used to get what I know, and then he threw me out because I was a troll. I don't know, honestly.
He literally told PJ this. I mean, I tried to say that's not what he meant, but at that point, he was saying that he was modding people and letting them in his Discord that he thought he could get info from, basically, right?
Yes, and then he literally had like 14 people in a voice chat, and he proceeded to tell all of us, including me, don't y'all know what happened when I invited Britters and Amzy into my Discord and modded them? They gave me all this information. Why do you think PJ's here?
I remember.
Yeah,
I
he
remember
literally
that.
did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, PJ's in here, guys.
And I'm like, no, that's not what he means. That's not what he means. It's like,
And
oh.
Hannah's like, no, he didn't mean name. Not name, really. Not like a name. And I'm like, yeah.
Stepped in it that day. That was funny.
Oh.
I think I was gone when that happened, but I got the screenshots. But
Oh, just Britt was asking
That
if
was
Uni
crazy.
actually makes money on YouTube.
I don't know. That's a good question. He must make some. I think he probably makes more from.
It's his job, dude. Duh.
Yeah.
He
But
works hard day and night. I would
yeah,
hope so.
he's grinding them out. He's grinding
Yep.
out them banger videos.
Oh boy, banger. That's another word.
Banger videos. I'm gonna have another banger for you tomorrow. It's like, what exactly are you talking about? I don't think I want that.
Yeah.
No.
I'm so glad I don't have unique lingo in my mind anymore. I can't even think of anything to say because I haven't watched it in so long.
I'm not gonna lie, I talk to the dog like he is my dude.
Dog's going to bite you if you keep that up.
That's probably why he's snoring so loud I can barely hear you guys.
Provably.
Okay, and the thing about he gets paid by Katie Joy. Okay. Now I don't have any proof of this. He gets paid by Katie Joy except last December when he came out with a video, and I have the screenshot of the Discord, which I didn't put out until he started lying about me. And it was somebody tagged Katie, and Uni did this video where he said, we proved it, we got him. And Katie said, check your PayPal. This was, I guess, in his video that he thought he proved that the screenshots were fake or something. I don't know. But that's the only proof that I have that she paid him for something. I don't know how much she gave him. I don't necessarily think it was really money. It was more her subs. Like, I mean, he straight up told me he gained 2,000 subs every time she mentioned him. It was 100 to 200 subs. It was, just different things. I think it was a little bit of everything. And getting back at Steve. I mean, if you think about it, that's his only tool to use against Steve now. I mean, Kyle doesn't work anymore. I mean, and again, I don't know what happened with Katie and Steve. I don't care to know what happened. I've heard so much that it's just all a blur in my mind, and that's what I think Uni's good at, is clouding people's judgment and making things to where they can't be clear, polarizing topics to where there's one side and another side and they fight with each other. And so I just try not to make a decision on any of that. It doesn't affect my life, and so I don't deal with it. But yeah.
I think you're right. And ultimately, the stuff does come to the light even when you try and gaslight your audience. There were a couple of super chats that were visible to everybody. They said Katie and her husband send him super chats on every stream where it's like very visible, and then they joke about it. How here's your payment for the day. None
and
of us
her
really know
audience, Kiki.
100%.
Yeah, and that's another
Yeah.
thing. Dodger was one of the most loyal Unirock followers there is. He's one of the most loyal people you'll know. And I love Dodger to death. And he treated Uni with nothing but respect and kindness. And he did everything for Uni. Was there in his streams till late at night, sharing links, did everything. And he got shit on too. That's his story to tell. But maybe one day he will. I don't know. But I just wanted to say that.
Right, because us four mods here weren't the only ones that left right around the same time.
No.
It was, he says it was 3 or 4, but it was more like 10.
10.
Yeah, and an admin.
And
Two ad-
Glow left because Glow left the day after I left, and he left because of the way they treated me when they took my admin wrenches. And he literally left my tweet in the admin room and said, "I don't agree with this. You could have done this. I'm gone." And that was at that point his only clips channel that he had left. And I don't know. It was just
Well,
it,
he didn't take care of Glow.
no.
Glow when I first joined and hooked up with that server of Unis, Glow just lost his channel, and that first time, Uni really pushed everybody to go resubscribe to Glow's new channel, and a lot of people did, and he got his subs back. Um, then it happened again, and Uni never said a word, and it took Glow forever to get those subs back. He didn't promote him, he wasn't helping him, and
No,
if you
because
had,
Glow wasn't covering that content that Uni was covering at the time.
yeah, he got a raw deal because Glow put a lot of time and a lot of work in, and
Mm-hmm.
handled a lot of things for him, and didn't get nothing out of it. At least not that second time because Uni was too busy in the makeup community with Katie.
I'm posting the questions on the screen when I see them. Here's one.
Yeah, I love Glow. Glow's that's one. If anything that came out of Uni, it's my friendships that I made, and Glow is one of my best friends. He doesn't talk very much. He doesn't. He's not into the drama. He's not going to do that, and I respect him for it. But I love Glow and I have a lot of respect for him.
Ditto, ditto. Um, I'll take on Han's question. Why did why did you Matt spend so much time doing free work for Uni? Why not? It was fun. When we were doing that, and he was putting the content out, and we were having a really good time in the Discord and in the live streams. Um, his live streams used to be pretty big, and there was a lot of people in there that we were all friends with, and it was like a family. When
Yeah, it
that
was fun.
It was fun, it worked out good for everybody. When that started to deteriorate, it felt more like a job, and that's why we quit doing it.
I don't think people realize how much of a friendship you end up building with people when you spend so much time in a Discord setting, either talking in voice or talking in just chat in Discord. It was more or less the friendships that we'd built with each
Mm-hmm.
other over anything else.
Yeah, I agree. It was.
Yeah, I
And
agree too.
yeah, and we were close to his subs. I mean, I mean, because you see, Uni says, "Get with my mods, get with my mods." Well, back then that wasn't a problem. We all got along. We just talked to people and interacted, and that's how it just was. They would just come to his mods to get to Uni. That wasn't something Uni just threw out, but it's just something that just was there.
Yep,
So
and it worked. It worked really well, you know. And like that for me, when that happened with Probot, and I tried to make all that work out, and I ended up getting caught in the middle of that. Thank God Probot was cool enough to understand. Uni just dropped the ball. Um, that's when it
well,
stopped working for me.
yeah, see, and that's another thing. There's a couple of things that happened like that with me in between people that I'd grown friendships with in Uni, whatever happened, and then for him not to hold, her to the same standard, and I had sat here and thrown away relationships or people that, or just whatever, and that's just why it didn't work with me. And Steve, you're right. He literally he probably still has the Periscope up now. If he doesn't, I've got it recorded in clips of it. But he literally named me in a Periscope because I had my friend OG1 Kenobi make a meme because he was wearing a mask on stream. And I was looking at it and I'm like, this dude looks like Hannibal Lecter. Like, and so I sent it to OG and I got OG, who's one of my really good friends. He made a meme and it was so funny and I put it on Twitter. Well, Uni still says he's never seen that meme, but that is the meme that sparked the like 4-day Periscope streams of
Oh,
him
he's seen
talking
that
shit
meme, all
about
right.
me. Yeah, he literally tweeted, and no, I haven't seen your meme, Hannah, where he told me to go to hell and that I was blocked, all because of a meme. So I lost my admin and mod privileges because I called him Katie Rock in Sense Chat, and he blocked me and told me to go to hell and called me all these crazy names and all these lies about me because of a meme I shared. It was a fucking hilarious meme, like I say.
Well, and since then, he totally changed it and flipped it again because he's the flipper. And he's like, oh, I miss Hannah. I love her. She can come back anytime she wants.
Yeah,
You know, it's like, dude, you told her to go to hell, and all of a
yeah.
sudden, it doesn't, dude, do-rag's too tight, man.
He literally did. He has little skill. He's seen the meme. Yeah. So the night that we all went into a stream, me, Dodge, you were there, Lee was there. I just seen him the night that all those people lost their YouTube channel. Like he was sitting there, and he did not even realize all that had happened on YouTube that day. He was just concerned about what he had to say about Steve and Kyle and all whatever that shit was going on at the time. He didn't even realize what had happened, which I know because somebody there told me that. And they didn't realize even why we were all there or anything, but he saw us talking in the chat and he's like, oh, really, Hannah, you'll have to come and sit down and tell me someday. And it's like, I mean, oh yeah, I'll message you on your blocked Twitter. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's laughable, but he's changed it so many times.
Dub has a question on screen.
Let me look. Let me see. Oh, okay. Ooh, this is gonna piss people off, but that's nothing new to me. Some of those people that stayed that watched this, he promoted them. Um, one of them I vouched for, and that person likes to swap cat gifts with another person in there that's close to the server, and I'll leave it at that. And you know, I kind of think some of those people, they were more concerned about the hierarchy of that server than any friendships that I had developed with them. Not speaking for all of them, because there's a couple of people I've really loved dearly in there that are still in there. I just don't see them participating too much. Leads me to believe they don't want to be. They don't want to be caught in the mess. But the ones that stayed, that got promoted, that ghosted me, um, that's really no sweat off me. That's so be it. You know, like I told Uni, you wanted your prima donna, you got her. I'm telling them, you wanted your Unirock, you got your Uni Pebble. Enjoy them.
There's another question.
Yeah, Brandy. I saw that, Brandy, and that's what he does with everybody. I could see what he was doing at the time. Like I can see it before he even does it, and it made me mad for you. Like I mean, because I'll be honest with you, you were a dick to Dilly one night, and so I didn't really like you. I mean, I don't know you, but y'all had kind of got into it, and so I am very protective over Dilly, and but I felt bad for you because I saw what he was doing, and it was bullshit. I mean,
I felt bad for you too, Brainy. I
yeah.
got on Twitter, but yeah, I never really got to know you. You were in there when I was in there, but we never talked. But when I seen what he was doing, it's like, oh, I know exactly what that feels like. I know exactly what
Yeah,
that.
it is. It sucks to see. I mean, when somebody else goes through it.
It's no fun. You handled it well. I will say that. You went right on to I think they changed their name. I don't remember the name of the stream now. Was it drunken peasants? I don't know. But you went right on and let them have it. And I thought it was glorious because it triggered them. Nice job.
Yeah, I think it's so funny how he's got all these people that are like Busy's girlfriend and all this. And that's what I used to say, that I was Busy's girlfriend. Everybody knew I was busy. I'm just kidding. But it's like, y'all totally steal my shit. I mean, I don't There's Dilly, Brandy. I know y'all just got into it over something. I'm sensitive about Dilly, and I was then because Junie was being a dick to him. It's not my point now. I'm just saying, just even somebody that I didn't. I mean, I did. It's not like I just saw your name and thought, oh, I feel bad for him. I saw your name and saw what he was saying, and I'm like, he's full of shit again.
Yep. Yeah. Checking the screen. Is there a fresh question up? Amy Lou, my question is Uni the reason Busy does crack? Yes, Uni is the reason anyone does crack. If there's someone that smokes
Yes.
crack, Uni's the reason. Yep.
Oh.
The question before that, Chesh said, um, does Uni not know how to act with friends because he doesn't have friends? I honestly don't know that answer. It does seem as though he doesn't know how to talk to people. With my experience, I actually had to make a bullet point presentation to try to explain to
Yes.
him what the problem was with Katie, and he couldn't listen to a simple bullet point explanation and said that I was not being logical and to think logically and explain it to him like in human terms. And I've never had such a hard time having just a simple conversation with somebody before in my life.
It's impossible. Um, to that point, I don't think he has many outside of the internet, outside of social media friends, if any. At least not close ones. He might. This is just my opinion. One day we were discussing how Katie can act the way she does, and wonder why she doesn't have a lot of close relationships with other creators. And I said to Uni, dude, I don't think she has any friends. Like if that's how she rolls, nobody's gonna stick with her. And anyone that's doing that now is just any ride or die she has right now is just either for clout or for being part of that crowd because there's a bunch of them and they go and they do their mass flags and stuff like that. And he starts laughing in the middle of it, like it was weird. Like, what do you mean, dude? She's got friends. You're just you're making shit up now. And I'm like, no, dude. Like, what planet are you on? Have you met Katie? Like, do you watch any of her videos? That was another thing. I would watch her videos now and then just to see, well, maybe she's got some good content, and I've misjudged her. And every time I did, I couldn't get past that. Hey guys, like that was the point of me.
What? Yeah, you mean to tell me? I was told you were a Katie simp and cuck
Oh
in
my
December.
God, yeah, I've heard him say that, right? Let me tell you,
No.
my first experience with Katie Joy in his server. She comes in after the phone call. She gets the invite, and she's bouncing in there. She comes in to General, gives her sob story. Some people feel bad for her, and some people are like, I don't know. So she keeps coming in. A couple of weeks go by, and I don't remember exactly what I said in general. It was I disagreed with her on some point, and she came back with something snappy, and I let it go. Somebody else spoke up and went, "No, he's right," and I hearted their comment or liked it or gave it one of those little 100 signs, and she's like, "What is that supposed to mean?" And I think I actually typed out what it was supposed to mean, and she flipped
Oh
out.
dear God.
Yeah, she flipped out, right? She runs into General, and she's like telling Rach and Uni, Matt Extreme said this, Matt Extreme said that. Well, at the time, I didn't have a headset or a microphone or nothing. I was just typing everything. So I jump in and uh, I hit control because that's my hotkey for mic for press to talk, and I'm screaming at my laptop. He's full of shit, you know.
Oh.
And I went off like a madman because I felt like I don't even have a voice, and she's gonna go and run her mouth about me, and people had to calm me down that day, and our relationship from that point forward just got worse. So as far as being a cuck and a simp for her, I think he's talking about himself. His do rag's too tight.
Clearly.
Yeah.
No, that's another thing she would do. Like the screenshots he dropped of what she did about Creepshow, that's what she would do about everything. Anything that happened that day or whatever, she was bitching about that day or whatever troll was targeting and harassing her that day. She would come and just drop all this stuff, and she would expect the mods to literally get Uni or to deal with this right now like it was something that he needed to live stream about or that needed immediate attention. And it's like, bitch, please, like, who do you think you are? Like, I just always ignored her. That's what I say. Like, I didn't have a problem with, I didn't even realize the shit she did until I left, because I can't stand to be around anybody that acts that way. I just ignored her when she came in there. I mean, like, a lot of mods had her blocked. I mean, literally, they did. I mean, they couldn't deal with her because she would literally demand that you do things. And she, like Mod said in his video, she just acted like a monster. I mean, she really did. She thinks she's like the queen. And he made her feel that way even more. I mean,
He did. She could do no wrong. You know, she could ask for personal information, run to Twitter, try to verify it, gets brought up in a meeting, and I don't know what your guys' problem is with her. It's like, dude, we've just told you 15 times what our problem is with her. We don't understand why you
yeah.
can't see it. And that's why that meeting got so heated. I don't think I've ever had to explain myself that many different ways to try to be understood when I knew damn well he understood what I was saying. And I'm admitting I was hot that night. Like, I was like, you know what? If I have to stay here one more minute, and then he bounced. He bounced out of his own mod meeting. And
Those
we're
were my favorites, when he literally threw a fit like a baby girl. Like, and I was like, did he just leave? I'm sitting there like,
we
is
would
this
just
for
be
real?
sitting there in our own mandatory mod meeting that he just stomped out of. Like, what? I mean,
yeah,
oh.
yeah, he really. Then he come back and he said something about, like, is this supposed to be a mutiny? And we're all laughing. I was dying to DMs with everybody else. It's like,
Y'all made me remember about how when one of the other mods that left, that I'm not going to mention by name because I don't have their approval, but when we all left, we wanted a way to keep up with each other and still be able to communicate with each other. So there was a Discord server made, and he went on and on about that server like it was some mutiny against him. I don't remember what he called the person that made the Discord, but he called me the Empress of the server, and I was like, yes, I get to be the Empress today. It was a good time.
yeah,
I don't remember why I was telling y'all this story.
because we were talking about mutinies and Captain
Yes, mutiny.
Jack Sparrow and his mutiny. It was too much.
And look,
What
Negative
was
is here.
it?
Hi, Negative.
I can't remember what he called.
And yes, people got
Hey,
into
Negative.
it with her over vaccines.
Well, you know what? That was ridiculous too, because people are allowed to have different opinions, and everyone that I know, they accept that because they're adults. The only person that couldn't tolerate anybody having a different opinion was Katie, and we had somebody in there that was adamant about their opinion on vaccines. She's just like a religious zealot when it comes to anti-vaxxers, as she calls them, and it was like she took it upon herself to get that person removed, and that person can't be here if I'm here. That was the vibe I got from her. Like, she was insulted that Uni could have somebody like that in his server, and it's like, you know what, lady, that guy's been here a lot longer than you. He's gonna be here after you're gone. At least it's, I had hoped, but as it worked out, I think it's for the better that we're all out of there.
Hey, Negative, I just want to say, I mean, I know you're a uni mod and all that. I mean, I don't have a problem with you. I've not talked about you, or I don't have a problem with any of the people that are there. I know that they all have a problem with me and us, obviously, but my problems are with Uni and the fact that he's kept talking, and you've been in his stream, so you know, like, I'm not saying like accusing you of that you do, but obviously you're his mod, so you know. I mean, he's literally talked about this and gone on about it for months, like multiple times. And so we're not here to have a hate stream. We're just literally telling our side. I mean, he's gone on Periscope after Periscope, on YouTube, on his platform where he has all these followers, and I only think it's fair that we get to do the same.
Agreed. He's totally can do his own thing. I'm not trying to hurt his channel. I'm not trying to hurt his brand. I don't want people to troll him. I just want to get my, you know, I want to get the truth out there. I just want to get the truth out there because when you've got somebody doing all these streams and they've got their timelines wrong, they've got all the facts wrong, negative, you know what happened. I fully admit to what I said and I've apologized, but you got to admit, this went down the way we're saying, bro. You know it did. So I'll just leave it at that. I've got no beef with nobody. I don't really even have a beef with Uni, but we're gonna put the facts out, and whether he likes it or not, it's kind of tough shit for him.
Yeah. I don't
I mean,
have much else to add to that. I think that was accurate. I don't hate anyone either. I don't think that this is a stream.
Dilly.
I'm gonna
Oh
hide.
dear God, yeah, it might be time to go.
I'm timing you out, Dilly. I'm sorry, bro. I'm kidding.
Oh, Comic Nut. Hey, Comic Nut.
Comic nut.
Yeah, just to stop him lying on us. That's all we're trying to do. I mean, I'm sure
Well,
our names
this
will
is
be
what I
read
mentioned
in the
in my
uni
last
community
stream.
tomorrow. But
Anytime that you have somebody talking about you on their live platform where they have views, even if it's 5 to 10, however many it might be, you should expect naturally for that person that you're speaking on to respond, because they're going to have their own opinion or their own storyline of how the events went down. And Uni actually says that this is his favorite type of content, where he gets to go back and forth with people, and he'll say something and then the person will respond, because it's in
didn't he
human
say he
nature
would
to
respond
respond.
till he died
Yes,
or something like that?
he said he would argue until death. Yes,
Yeah.
whether it's right or wrong, he's going to argue until death. So yes,
Wow.
that'll be fun, guys.
Well, he's gonna argue with himself because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue to the death. I mean,
Yeah, me either. Oh,
good luck
heavens.
on that, dude. I'm telling you, that do-rag, it's just way too tight. That's the problem. If you
Yeah.
loosen it up and let some circulation up there to that bald melon, maybe get some sun on it when he's out for his walks, getting chased by dogs. I think that the circulation would really improve his cognitive skills. He'll learn new words too. Like he won't just be stuck with obfuscate and narrative and you get me and my dude and all that. He might learn some new phrases. Um, it'll be good for him. It'll be a good chance. Like he always says, all his critiques are to help people. He's only been trying to help Katie this whole time. He's only been trying to help Steve. Well, Uni, here's your help. I hope you take it.
Hands, are you talking about me? Are you saying I have a great Southern accent? I hope you're talking about me and not.
He's talking about you.
I hate my voice. No,
I mean,
thank y'all for being nice. I'm like nervous. This is the first time I've ever done a live stream.
you're a natural. You're good at this.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, well, I just ramble, kind
That's what you do. No, that's perfect.
of. Oh.
It works.
It's better than dead air. Yeah.
Oh, well, I think I can talk. I can talk. But I talk and then I talk to where I can't even remember what I'm saying anymore. And then it's like, oh, what the hell am I talking about?
Oh dear God.
What? Just say it.
Silly.
Time him out. Really. We're friends. He'll get over it. It'll be all right. We love you, Dilly. You might have to take a little 300-second break. Is there any other questions?
I don't think so. I was trying to scroll through to make sure. I see negative responded. I pinned that, and he understands we have to air our grievances. I don't see why people are so willing to believe someone without evidence. Can someone explain? I kind of feel like we already addressed that question, but Tina got timed out, so maybe she didn't see the answer or hear the answer. Anybody want to recap? Because that was kind of my frustration in my stream the other day. It's not even just Uni, it's a lot of people. They just kind of take somebody at their word and don't ask for evidence, and it frustrates me to no end.
What was the question again?
the question is why people don't ask for evidence of him.
Well, a lot of times, that's slick how he does that. I've got a theory on that. He says it with such conviction and authority that he believes it 100%, and he says it with like the assumption that that
Yes, I think he almost started crying once. He was so serious about what he was talking about.
exactly, and that when I know I make fun of it, but when he's saying all the time, "You get me," that's trying to insinuate the fact that you understand this already, and he's just reinforcing the truth.
Provably.
Provably. And then when you question him again, he doubles down with, "Well, all you got to do is watch my videos." Well, dude, if somebody was going to go back and watch your videos, if you just take 6 of them that are 4 hours apiece, that's a lot of viewing just to verify one thing you said
Yeah.
on Periscope over like a 3-minute period. So it kind of weasels his way out of that for him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't remember what he said in the video. So instead of answering your simple question, he makes you go look for your answer in the video because he doesn't remember what the hell he said in that one video. It's like a fun game that we all played.
yeah, yeah, it is. Well, he didn't remember halfway through summer. I don't think he remembered the stuff he actually said in the early videos when he critiqued Katie. I don't think he remembers now. I think he would have to sit down and watch it. If Unirock sat down and watched the videos he did about Katie to begin with, and he watched some of the videos coming out now, he'd go, "Oh my God, I actually was right once." He'd shock the shit out of himself. But he doesn't remember. I don't know.
Yep. And I just want to say, what did I do is the mod that Katie screenshotted in the Discord and linked in the live chat.
Say what?
What did I do? He's in here. I mean, he doesn't care.
It was what did I do? Yeah. What did I
it was
do?
him.
He decided not to block Katie. He decided, you know what? I'm going to tell this woman what I think, and it was beautiful. I loved it.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I say, this isn't a hate stream. Hate requires way too much energy. I don't hate anyone, least of all him. I just if he wants to go out there and get all these timelines and facts and things that happened wrong, that's great. But he can't expect us not to say anything because he's going to come out and slander me and say Mod did this or Mod said that, and Mod threatened to. Oh my God, that's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to go into it, but all the crap he said about Mod said he was going to do this and that, and I've been threatened. You know, I gave one of his moderators, that's still a moderator for him, a little piece of advice that when you accuse somebody of a felony and they didn't do it, you can get in a lot of trouble. And he quit saying that I made a certain kind of a threat to him. So I'm glad that worked out for the better that way. But other than that, you know, get your money, dude. Make your bank.
Just
Whatever you
quit talking
got.
about us. Or
Yeah.
lying, at least. I mean, if you're going to talk about us, you don't have to lie. I mean, whatever. I mean,
But
Do you guys think he's actually done with Katie, or do you think that he'll bring her back when things cool off?
that's a good question. I don't know. I don't think that Katie's done with him. I'll just put it like that.
me either. I think he's going to have hell to pay.
Yeah.
And there was a comment or a question earlier asking about the as scary as it gets. Just remember how December, and I'm terrible at paraphrasing, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I guess people were having the same question as to what it was referring to.
Yeah, where Rach said it doesn't matter how scary it gets, just let Uni live stream and video and it'll be taken care of just like it was in December. We say that it means scary because literally her losing views is like the worst thing possible for her. And Rachel saying just let Uni live stream and put out his videos, just let him spin this shit, and nobody will really realize it. So, I mean, that's very telling.
It is. It really is.
I'm trying to make sure we got all the questions, but I think for the most part, Tina, if you had another question, I didn't see any. I know this was the last one that she commented. Somebody had said that she had something to address. There's a lot of comments. It's kind of hard to sift through on StreamYard, so I'm sorry, guys, in advance. But yeah, if she doesn't type it in now, I guess that's basically it.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go on for 6 hours and play fart cough. So
Yeah. Oh. Well, I guess, I don't know, maybe we'll be back another day. Who knows?
let's give him a minute just in case. And then,
Okay.
you know,
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's what we're doing. Wait on.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I say, it was.
Hands.
I come out of the experience with a lot of friends. Oh my God, he's here!
Yay!
That's
really.
not here.
It's not
Of
him.
course not.
I'm kicking
I
it.
love trolls.
Yeah, he's
Trolls
gone.
are my favorite. I've gotten called a troll so many times. I've just grown to love trolls.
Should I screenshot it first? You guys want?
Yes.
Yeah, we can screenshot it and put it on Twitter and tell everybody, look at what he said.
Oh man, Dove. Darn it.
It's all right.
Yeah,
No, it's still there. I still see it.
I fixed it. I can get it.
Okay. Little things amuse me.
Thank you, Dove. You were doing your job.
Yeah, we know that's not him. Obviously, we've seen his name far too many times, I promise.
I lost the chat. I'll be right back. Oh, actually, I'm not leaving. I'm just refreshing the page.
No,
But-
but you guys, that's definitely not him. It's a troll.
Yeah,
Even though he does have accounts that are like that, but who knows?
The space between the I and the R. First off, it should be capital letter UNIR, and then OTK is lowercase, I think.
Yes.
God, I know way too much. I really
You do know way too much. That was very detailed and very fast.
very frightening.
It's like you just had a serious spelling bee question. You're like, UN, capital UN. Yeah, I can't even repeat it like you said it. Oh,
Lord.
yeah, I don't see any other questions. I think it's safe for us to close out.
Okay. I want to thank everyone for coming to listen to this.
Yeah, really. It was great.
You know, a lot of it's old news, but we just like to say we wanted to get it out there, and we really appreciate everybody listening and tuning in. Like and subscribe if you had a good time. And we'll see you next time. I'm out. And guys,
Hands, you're funny. At least he likes my accent.
I will say this. When he says really slanderous stuff, like what's on the screen right now from Tina, I'm going to read it. Uni has used screenshots from my group and literally changed the words to make it for his narrative. That's infuriated me. Yeah, he does stuff like that. And if he doesn't do it, he'll get it from a mod sometimes and run with it. As long as it fits his narrative. And
Yeah.
that's that.
I almost forgot that part of my story, actually, is that he asked me to get some screenshots or some information for something. I don't even remember. But I told him verbatim what happened, and he literally took the word "the" out of my entire paragraph I told him and literally made his own just storyline out of the word "the." I'm exaggerating and being a little dramatic, but that's really what happened.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds about right. That's happened to me a few times, but I just thought at the time that he was just getting it wrong, and I would be sitting there watching the stream like, oh my God, he's got it totally wrong. Everything me and Glow would be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, he's totally got this wrong, but he could have been doing it on purpose. There's no.
I don't know if Amy Lou's still in here, but me and Amy Lou were literally screaming at our freaking screens. I know we were, because she was commenting and I was commenting. I'm like, dude, that's not what. Wait, no, what? What are you saying, my dude?
Evidently, you didn't get him. It wasn't a "you get me" moment.
No, I definitely didn't get them.
I was typing something else and literally wrote "you get me." So.
My dude was on another planet at that point in time.
All right.
Uh,
And thanks everybody. You know,
Oh
we really
yeah, thanks y'all. I'm glad, and thank you PJ for letting us come on and run our
oh,
mouths a
this
little
was
bit.
a lot
Thanks
of
y'all for
fun. Thank you
listening.
guys for coming.
yeah. And
Yeah.
we'll see you soon.
Yep. Bye guys.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.